Thanks very much. Cheers. Cheers. My name's Guy Kestevan. I've been testing bikes professionally for nearly 25 years now, but I've been riding bikes outside and been on the backs of bikes in child seats for nearly twice that long. And there's never been a busier time for mountain biking, which is fantastic. I mean, they're producing bikes faster than they ever have, and they're still sold out. And that's amazing. There's people coming back off the trails who haven't ridden for donkey's years. There's a whole load of newbies as well. But that means there's an enormous pressure on the trails right now. And I wrote something for Bike Perfect this week, and it seems to have resonated with a ton of people. So I just wanted to follow it up on video, really, and just kind of, I mean, I hope I'm preaching to the converted, and apologies for preaching, because that's what's happening now. But just think about what you're doing when you ride. You know, be the best ambassador for mountain biking that you can possibly be. I guess that's the watchword, really. Bank holiday weekend now, busier than ever. Sun's out, trails are beautiful, trails are drying out. It's going to be absolutely crammed. And we know there are going to be some absolute heads out there. We know that. We know there are some people who are going to really give mountain bikers a bad name. So let's flip that around. Let's be the ones who give way, say hello, pat the dog, fuss the dog. Be sensible. It is going to be crowded. Ride early, ride late, ride trails that other people might not know. Pick up, join in Trash Free Trails, their Spring Clean campaign. All it takes is just, stick in a bin bag in your pack. And if you see something, just stop. Everybody has to. I'm having a day where I'm not really feeling on it, so just grab a bag. Don't think, there's no point going out because I'm not going to get a com or a quam or whatever. Go out and get a bag of litter instead. That's actually way more valuable. Nobody really cares about your Strava scores. Nobody. You might, your mates might, but really, going out, cleaning up the trails, that makes far more difference. Amen. And while we're on the subject of Strava, your race run is not more important than getting tangled up in a lead or getting worse, running over a kid or whatever, or just buzzing other riders. Young families out riding who might be put off for bloody ever because some idiot wants to become 47th in their age group down a descent that's been ridden 2,000 times. It's really not worth it. Don't. And again, there's so much I could talk about. I think, I'm sure you know it all. If you are riding there's so many new riding areas who've been built up, and they are fantastic. I'm not pretending. These trails, I've ridden them for nearly 20 years now. They're cheeky trails. But theoretically, I'm a criminal for being. Let's not start the whole trespass law thing. I'm not, arguably not causing damage, so I'm not a criminal. But if you are going to be a criminal, if you are going to be illegal, be a clever criminal. Don't advertise your presence. Make friends with the security guard. Be the ones who you don't want to get caught. Be the surfacing's Point Break. Be, Ocean's 11. Be the good criminals, if you know what I mean. Don't park your getaway vehicle right next to your illegal trails and muck up the verge. Because to be honest, probably people don't care what's going on that wood on the hill. They're not in there. But if their nice verge on their nice country lane is completely ploughed up because it's covered in transit vans with One Life Live It stickers or big Fox tail pads, and they've trashed the verge, then that's what they're going to be pissed off with. And if you've parked directly outside the riding area, they're going to put two and two together. Thanks very much. Cheers. Thank you. If you can't ride something, don't just dig it. Respect the work that other people are putting into trails as well. If you can't ride something, don't just dig it up. Either learn to ride it or choose another trail. I know trail builders have found people digging up their whoops at the bottom of a trail going, well, it's faster. It's just learn to triple them, learn to double them. Embrace what's there. Don't be selfish. That's this should all be basic common sense, I hope, as human beings. But sometimes in the heat of the moment, we can forget that, But don't. We haven't got that luxury at the moment. Trails are too crowded. Hopefully things will get better as people spread out. We won't have all this massive pressure that we've currently got. But with so many people coming into the sport, let's make that a really, really good thing that, local councils, that local landowners, everyone want to support because they can see the positives from it. Not a nightmare that they just go, right, ban it, done. Because, we all know situations like that. I know guys who've been working with the Forestry Commission ages and ages and ages, phone call, yeah, it's fine. The situation's tolerant, we're not going to do anything. Let's have a good chat about this, how we can progress this. Next thing you know, Forestry have sent in a convoy of vans and they've kicked the trails to shit. But don't leave the table. It's so frustrating. You know, I've been in those kind of groups. It can be so frustrating. The progress can be glacial when you're making things official. But like I say, that's how big changes have happened in the mountain biking landscape and in getting mountain bikers accepted. You know, there are so many places that are in danger of being shut down now. I've been people in touch from Netherlands where local riding has suddenly exploded. It wasn't really a thing, but over the past year it's gone mental. And now trails are being shut down because they're literally getting 20,000 users on some trails. You know, 200,000 within the year just on a local cheeky trail. You know, places like Macclesfield Forest are in real danger of being shut down. Not so much because of the riding, but just because there are so many people flooding in from so many areas because trails have been shared on Strava or on social media. The people are coming from all over and they're wedging the tracks, the roads, the access roads into the forest so full that if there's a medical emergency, there's no way an ambulance can get in there. I know people whose grandparents live in those forests in cottages and they're genuinely terrified. They've genuinely seen the nature being impacted by so many riders coming in and just making a mess, making a noise. Let's keep it low key. Let's keep it stealth. Think, don't just because you can squeeze in there, don't necessarily think that's the right thing to do. Because if it was someone doing that on a local patch, think how that'd make you feel, They're not all NIMBYs. A lot of them have a genuine reason why they don't want us there.
Bike on your right. Thank you.
And I'm not saying just, put your tail between your legs and whimper out of everywhere. We should, I think we have a right to be out here, but we need to prove we have a right, and we kind of need to overprove we have a right. So, get involved with your local trail advocacy groups. I've been contacted by loads of people since that poster put up. There's almost certainly a group local to you, Ride Sheffield, Ride Calderdale, Ilkley MTB up here, Single Traction, the guys from Epping Forest have been in touch. Chase Trails, the guys in Scotland, there are advocacy groups all over the place. But even just your groups, the group of mates you ride with, make a difference with them and just start, chatting to people. If you see a mate riding like a dick, pull them up on it. They're ruining your reputation as well. If they're close passing people or they're chucking gels down, chucking a gel on the floor doesn't make you an athlete, it makes you an arsehole. Just do a bit of your own police work. Have a look on Trail Police, see what they're saying. They've got perfect sense, Yes, dig a trail, but make it a good one. Use the stuff around you. Just because you want to fly, don't make it look like fly tipping. Just use the environment around you. Don't dig dirty great holes that if people fall into, they're going to break their ankle or break their neck, because that's what's going to cheese the landowners off, is ambulances coming in and them getting involved in a lawsuit because mummy didn't know they were riding in there and now they're hurt. And theoretically it all comes back on the landowner. If he acknowledges you're in there, he's in a whole world of pain. So look, appreciate what access we've got and what access we've kind of eked out over the past 30 odd years. And, realise that that's something wonderful we can build on. Cody Brennan was started by Daffyd Davis. Yeah, he was a forestry ranger, but he built those trails in his own time. His employers thought he was bonkers. That created Cody Brennan, the first trail centre here. Everywhere up in Peebles, in Alethan, Glentress. That all started with volunteer stuff. Look at what Ride Sheffield are doing, how Ilkley MTB are managing their situation. There are some absolute heroes out there. I mean, I'm terrible, I'm not saying I'm one of them. I'm just a gobshite. But if that's what I can bring to it, if I can reach a few more people with this conversation and get people to properly do stuff, I'll dig with a shovel occasionally. I'll pick up litter. But that, just get involved in any way you can. Get around the table, talk with people. Horses, ramblers, every other outdoor user group has a really big voice in really significant circles. But we haven't. We still haven't. So I don't know what the answer is, but it's just such an incredible opportunity. There are so many people riding right now. There are so many people wanting to ride locally. There is so much enthusiasm and, enthusiasm we can harness. Mountain biking is such a good thing. Getting people outside is such a wonderful thing. Let's keep it a wonderful thing. Let's keep it positive for everyone else who uses these places.
Evening. All right.
Well, there's a whole load of people now who've come out of beer gardens and just into this whole new wonderful world, but they haven't a clue. Often they are the ones who are littering or they're walking up downhill tracks the wrong way. Don't scream at them, don't shout at them. They genuinely don't know any better. just, you know, educate. If you just scream and shout at them, they won't give a damn. They'll just go, oh, well, sod you, I'm going to do it anyway. You know, they won't understand it's just dangerous. And if they went the other way, or you point them in the right direction to go for a nice walk, everybody's happy then, because you haven't run them over, their dog isn't tangled in your spokes, and, you know, they've had a nice walk. You know, I've rescued loads of nans down here as it's gone dark, because they're just lost, because they've never been down here before. But then I've just had a wonderful chat with an old lass who's been coming down here every night, you know. Spend 5 minutes, you know, just chat to people, break down those barriers. It's, you know, kids who are starting out riding, old blokes who are starting out riding, e-bikers, whatever, you know, bring them on board, but bring them on board with your knowledge, with your experience, you know. Be kind, but be a guide, be an advocate, be a steward, I guess. I mean, yeah, that makes us sound like a right old fart, I know that. And I'm not going, oh, you young people, you shouldn't be doing this schalping. You know, this sport's evolving all the time, but let's make it minimum impact in terms of cheesing people off. You know, let's, yeah, again, just be positive. Just be a good thing. I guess, don't be a dick. Yeah, I mean, yeah, all those slogans that are just so simple. You know, pick up, if you have to pick up poo bags, pick up poo bags, wear a glove, you know, leave, you know, before you leave the car park at Trail Centre, just have a quick scoot around. I'm hoping none of you are leaving your own poo in a bag hanging in a tree. I'm guessing you're not. We are far from the worst trail users, but let's be seen as the absolute best, because that's not the reputation we've got at the moment, which is unfair. But let's absolutely push to change that. Just be the best ambassador for mountain biking you can. Say hello, that's all it takes. You know, smile, get in there first. Let's start breaking down these preconceptions and start putting mountain biking on trails as a really, really positive thing, because it is. I mean, look at what places of Bike Park Wales and Cody Brennan have done for the local economy. We're the best crop they can grow in a forest. You know, stuff go ape and making a few trees for IKEA. We get in there and we can properly spend, give us, you know, make it worth their while looking after us, because we're looking after our own game. And if you do meet the real diehards, don't get angry, don't descend to their level. Explain your point of view, try and get your point of view across, you know, but if they're just foaming at the mouth and going crazy, record them on your phone if you can. If you've seen that Nathan's biking video where those two old ladies went mental at him, and he was just the absolute epitome of tact and diplomacy. A young lad, a young enduro rider, really good local enduro rider, couldn't have played it better. And sometimes you just have to look, just go, okay, I can't change the situation, but I've had my point of view across. You know, don't take shit from them, but on the other hand, there are certain situations you can't serve, and don't let that ruin your ride. Don't let that ruin your trail building either. I've also had people get in touch who are just like, they've been getting so much heat recently, they've given up, they don't want to ride or build anymore. And it was a really, really important thing for them to do mentally, and now they've lost it and they're feeling really, really down about it. Well, that's terrible. You know, we need to fight for those guys as well. This is more than just a sport to so many of us. You know, it's an income, or it's vital mental health time, vital exercise, getting us out, getting us, you know, forest bathing. If I was a princess, that's probably what I'd be saying, but it's just such an important part of so many lives. Let's treat it with the respect that deserves and make it grow. I'm sorry this has been preachy, but I just wanted to get, you know, so many people have said thank you for saying that. I figured, well, let's say it again, because we can't say it too much. If someone like Josh Bryceland can come out and be such a brilliant example in the way he's taken sort of stewardship of a local trail area, and he's really working with the local landowners and the people around there to make a sustainable, safe environment. You know, Rat Boy, the king of shredding, if he can do it, how can this not be a cool thing to be involved in? This is wonderful. Let's fight for it, but fight for it in the right way. Good God, it sounds like a party political broadcast. Anyway, look, thanks for your time. Thanks to Giro for sponsoring the channel. Thanks to my Patreon supporters for pledging to support the channel on a monthly basis. If you like what I'm doing, give the channel a like. But most importantly, get in touch with your local trail crew. Clean up some litter. Be a really good example for this sport. Thank you. Be nice. Say hi. Leave the place better than you found it.
On your left. That's right, I'll go left. Cheers, lads.